So what did I do? I clicked on command number 2, and this brings up the mixer. So you bring it all the way down. You bring everything all the way down, all right? This stuff is not what we need. But this stuff, you bring it all the way to 0, okay? All the way down. And you hit play. Hit playing, but nothing, you're not hearing anything, right? It's because you muted everything. So you determine which, where is it? Oh, come on. Okay. You determine what, okay, so what should sound like what and where, okay? And when, I mean. So we're going to start with the kick, right? Because that's what we want. We want the kick to be at its best. But we don't want to go all the way to, we don't want to go too much, because notice the output is almost peaking. So you don't want to do that. Click on that. You don't want to go red in the beginning, you know? That's gonna be bad for you when time comes to do things like automation or whatever. You just want a little, you want a lot of headroom. So what I usually do is I bring the kick up to here and click here, and then go to fill. No. What am I saying? Go to here, dynamics, and click adaptive limiter. And what that does is it adds a limiter so that your volume doesn't go crazy. You can bring it down, all the way down, you know, so it doesn't go too high. So it doesn't clip. You don't want it to clip, because it's going to sound horrible, man. So that's what you do. So it sounds great. The kick sounds great, right? Let me see if I have more volume. See? I have a lot more volume to go. Look at this. Wow. So the kick is awesome. Now, let's go to the second one. This is the basic chord. So this is this one right here. Let's see what that sounds like. Sounds good. You can hear it, right? So it sounds great. That's what you want. You want enough room so that you can hear each instrument. You know what I mean? You don't want them drowning out in each other's noise. Now we go here. I want this a little bit higher. Sounds good to me. Let's keep going down. Do I want this to be loud, or do I want this in the background? It sounds prominent, so I want it in the front. Not too much. But I definitely want it higher than this, right? Bring this up a little bit. All right, let's bring up this one. Now this one sounds really low, right? We're gonna fix that later, but let's bring it up. We don't want it too much in the front, but we don't want it drowning either. And the last one. So you hear how, like, this one sounds like it's cutting off? Like, listen to it. See, there's no sustain. As soon as I let go of the key, it's just stopping. So there's a way to fix that. Let's go to the ES24. And there is a sustain, but I'm not sure what it is, so let's try to figure that out. It's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Where is it? I'm not sure where it is. It's somewhere. I found it before, but I don't know where it is. That's not it. Well, I can't seem to find it. Oh, there we go. I think that's it. Yes, that's it. See where it says short, long? This is it. We found it. Yeah. So let's bring it up a little bit. More. Yes, this is what we want. Yeah. Just a little more. Yeah, this is better. You hear it now? It's like, it's not short anymore. This is better. Yes. Now you hear the sustain, right? Yes, things that you gotta listen for. Anyway, let's play it now. Much better, much better. Sounds way better. Oh my gosh, it was irking my ears. Anyway, so now what you want to do is so the first thing we did was we found we didn't okay, so we found the tracks we wanted. The second thing we did was we quantized. Make sure you quantize. The third was we colored, and the fourth now is all we're doing is we mixed. Okay, so Command 2, and we brought the volumes all the way down, and we added a limiter to the out, okay, to the output. And all we're doing is we're making sure that there's no clipping, okay? So when you play it in your car and your speakers, whatever, it doesn't clip, okay? Now, what we're gonna do is do something called low cutting. Now, low cutting, I don't always do it, but I do it sometimes. It's a good habit to do, because what happens is there are certain frequencies in each instrument that you don't want to exist. So the way you do that is you get rid of them, and you do it with the EQ, okay? So let's do that. We're going to do it one by one. So we're going to single it out. Let's do that. So we're going to play it, and click on EQ. but make sure that you're not EQing the wrong one. The way you do that, make sure you click on the one you want. So then you click, okay, so let's do it again. Make sure that okay, so sometimes you'll want to EQ this one, but because you were here last time, you will click on this thinking you're EQing this one. You want to make sure that you click on the right one before you click on EQ. Then you hit play. See, so it's highlighted, that's the one we're EQing. So we double click, and this is the EQ. So we're gonna single it out. This is the beat. Okay, so we're gonna single that out. And all we're doing, we're trying to do a little low cutting. Okay, these are frequencies that we can't even really do anything with, or we don't want. So this is the low frequency, there's a lot of it. We're gonna low cut it by like 30 hertz. You click here, and not this one, but this one. You click on it, and then you just push to like 30 hertz. Why 30 hertz? I don't know, man. People do it. They all do it. So for drums and kicks, just do 30 hertz. You could do more. You could get the mids, bring it up. You see what I'm saying? You could do all kinds of stuff. But we're not doing that today. We're just gonna low cut now. So that's good. And then what we're gonna do is add what is called a compressor. So we click on the channel, you're gonna click here, go to dynamics, and click compressor. Now what the compressor does, it allows you to pretty much, what the compressor allows you to do is bring out the most or the least, but it pretty much brings out the sound. That's how I understand it, okay? It has a few options here, and what these options do is they allow you to bring out the maximum punch, you know, in like a studio environment, a more surround sound environment, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. It works. I use it all the time. It's beautiful. And this is how you determine how much compression, pretty much you're trying to squeeze or not squeeze. That's how I look at compression. Are you squeezing the sound so that you don't want to hear much of it? Or you are unsqueezing the sound so that you hear more of it? That's how I look at it. The attack is, I don't really play with these things much, but let's just do the basics. So we're gonna go here and we're gonna play it, and when we're playing it, we're just gonna go through these options to see what it sounds like, okay? And then based on what it sounds, because this is the kick, so I want more of the kick, so I'm gonna want a more surround studio sound, or I don't know what's gonna sound good. And then if the compression, if this sounds great, I'm not gonna mess with this. But if it sounds great, but I want more, I'm gonna reduce the compression because I want more of it. If it sounds great already and I feel like it's sounding too much, then I'm going to increase the compression, okay? So let's do that. Ah, that sounds good. Ooh, ooh. These are defaults, you know? I like the FET. Ooh, you hear that boom? I love that. Ooh. So if I increase the compression, that boom is not really there much. You can tell. See how much I compressed it a lot. But if you bring it down, yeah. What does the attack do? I think it gives more punch. I don't know. I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't know. I use it though, but I listen for the sound, and if it causes something to sound great, I go with it. So right now, this sounds great to me. I could gain it up a little bit to give more punch, and you can compress it at the same time. If you gain, you should compress. So I think this sounds great. All right, now let's stop that and let's go to this one. This one, let's see what that sounds like. Click on that, So we already have a kick. We don't have a bass in this. This would be my bass, actually. I would consider this my bass. So if you click here, oh, I didn't tell you this. If you click here and you click Analyzer, this is how you get to see the waveforms. So I'm gonna low cut this because I don't want too much. I'll do like 45, like right here. I don't want too much bass out of this. And that's it, we're done. Next. And now this, let's see what's going on with this one. See, we already have a bass, so we don't want too much bass with this, okay? Yeah. Sounds good. Next. This we definitely don't want bass. Analyze. Oh, look at that. There's not much anyway, so let's cut a lot. Let's do a lot. Yeah, we want the upper end of it, you know, the wham 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 wham. I don't want to do that. I could do it, but I don't want to do it. If you want to focus on the high ends, you go here. You hear that? I'll give it a little bit. Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds sharp. Woo. This one might need a little compression. I want to hear more of it, you know? So I'm reducing the compression, but not too much. I want the compression to not release too much. I want to attack it. Sounds good to me, man. Let's listen to it in concert. All right. Now this one. What is this? Oh, this one we need it to come out. We need this to come out. We're gonna fix that with the compression. But what we're gonna do here is reduce some low cutting, do some low cutting. Not too much, just a little, because we want to hear it. You know, it's already drowning a little bit. The mids I want up a little bit. I like that sound. You hear that? Now it sounds deep. Now we're gonna add some dynamic compression here. Let's see. Yes, reduce the compression. You want more of it. You want it to attack. Yeah. Oh yeah, this sounds great. Let's listen to it in concert. Yeah, I thought I needed more of that sound, but no, it was taken over. I don't want it to take over. I want it to be in between. I don't want it to be drowning, and I don't want it to take over. I want it to be in between, and this was good. I brought the attack like here. I compressed it a lot because I like this. I like this fet. It's bringing it out. This sounds perfect. I don't want to mess it up anymore. Now, here, what does this sound like? This sounds raspy, right? Ooh. Power is sticking up the whole thing, but that's what we want. So let's do a little bit of EQing. See, look at that bass, that low end. Let's just do 40. That's good. Now it really needs compression. It's a big sound. We want it to take a lot, to come out a lot. Here we go. Let's listen to this in concert. Oh, it sounds beautiful. Now, I'm hearing an extra beat. I hear like a double. There we go. What is that? How did I do that? There we go. Let's listen to it by itself. Sounds fine to me. There's a little skip, but let's see if we can fix that too. Zoom in here. There we go. There it is. So bring that back. Listen to it again. Sounds fine. Sounds great. I like it. I could fix it, but it sounds great. Sounds great. Now, let's go step by step and see what everything sounds like, okay? All right. Is that what I want? That's not what I want. I want mute, 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 mute. All right, let's listen to this. Finally! Alright, so we are where we want to be. This is beautiful. Now, here comes the fun part. This is the fun part. This is the best part of music making, man. Arranging. This is like the best part. It takes forever, but man, it is exciting. Now, here's what we're gonna do. What I usually do with arrangement is I change this because I want my music, because this here tells me the time. Okay, so right now we're running at, let's see, this is 8 bars and it's 16 seconds. Yeah, it's just 16 seconds. So I'm gonna close this, and what I'm gonna do is reduce the size a little bit and copy everything. All right, copy everything, copy, paste, paste. All right, and That's for now. That's actually, I don't even do that. That's too much. I usually just do this. I usually copy up to like here. Yeah, 4. I usually just do 4 copies, and you bring the loop down, and then you say to yourself, well, how do I want to introduce this masterpiece? That's really what you're doing. You're orchestrating. You're like, how you're telling a story, and you don't want to just throw the whole story in someone's head. They're not going to get it. You have to introduce it to them, and you have to explain it, and then you have to really bring everything back together. Kind of like when you were in school and they told you to write a thesis, and then from the thesis you go into the you start, you know, and then you start, and then the body tells you, pretty much explains the thesis, and then in the end you have a conclusion, and then you tie it all up in the conclusion with the original thesis. That's really what you're doing. I don't look at it like that, but that's what I had to say in order to explain it to you. But that's what it is. I mean, it's a story, and you're determining how am I going. Now you could do this many ways. You could use the risers that people usually use. You could do bells and whistles, dude. You could do whatever you want, voices, everything. This is wild. But you know, I usually just I do that, and then I say, all right, how do I want to do this? This is great. I know one thing that's common in mine is I never start with the beat, because the beat drops. That's the cool thing about beats. They drop. So I never start with the beat, you know. I never, ever, ever start with the beat. Because beats are just, they're the life of the party, man. So I never start with beats. I always start with something, a synth, and then make sure you don't save over your original project. Go here and save as project 1 arrangement. Why do you do this? Because you might want to change it, you know? You might want to change it. So this is arrangement. So we have the original. We can always edit the original later. And this is where you're having fun. This is where you're allowed to make all kinds of crazy mistakes, right? So I'll start with that, and then I'll say what I'll do is I'll mute stuff. So I'll start muting everything. Okay, I'll mute, and then I'll just say, maybe I'll start with this. So let's see how that goes. So I kind of like that. I actually like that beginning, but maybe I don't. Let's try something else. Sounds good too, to be honest. Let's try this. I would never start with this. It just sounds like something has already been introduced, and I missed the whole beginning of the movie. I like this. Oh man, this beat is just so crazy. I love this part, man. But just for sakes, let's for video sakes, let's listen to it. I wouldn't start with this one. All right, because notice I didn't pay much attention to this one in terms of fine tuning it and everything. Why? Because I wanted to take up the whole story. It's like a banana peel, banana in like, you know, your smoothie. It takes up the whole taste. That's what this is like. So let's start with this one, shall we? And then you determine. I'm gonna bring this all the way back because I want to see what I'm gonna start with. So I'm gonna start with this, and let me see something here. Nope, that's gonna come in later. Let's try this. Nope, that's gonna come in later. That's not bad. Maybe I will bring in the beat a little bit. Usually I don't bring in the beat quickly, but I hear a drop coming. I hear it. I hear a drop coming, and I want it to oops. You see what I did? I selected this, the beat, to copy here, but notice I also selected this. This is the thing about Logic. You have to remember, just because you select your track instruments doesn't mean that this part right here is selected. So you have to select what you want. So let's just do, it doesn't matter. Let's just keep and undo. So let's do that again. Click here, copy, bring back. All right. And then we're gonna do this, delete, and let's see how that goes. All right, I still don't like it, but let's see what's going on here. You know what? Let's not introduce it with this. Let's introduce it with, I think, this one. Nope, not this. This one. I'm torn, but anyway, let's not focus too much on this, because you can spend a lot of time trying to figure this out. All right, how about we do this? Mute this, take this out. All right. I don't want the beat to drop just yet. Let's do that. I'm introducing the story. So what we're gonna do is go here, here, here. Unmute this because obviously we're introducing something new, right? But we don't want to introduce everything. So we're introducing this at least. So let's copy that. And do some more copies. All right, so what we're gonna do is have this continue, have this come in, think we're gonna, let me see. So notice I'm just going through with this. I'm not really trying to spend too much time arranging this, but you get the point. You could do risers here, you could do whatever you want, you know. So what I'm going to do is now, before introducing this again, I'd like to take away the beat at some point. I think probably here. Actually, you should keep this up because don't just cut it out. You don't want to shock the person, you know? Actually, that should not. This right here is like a main driver. So notice I cut right away. That's not good. I shouldn't cut right away. So if I cut, what I should do is I should lead into that cut. And the way you do that is you do this, you mute this, you bring these, oops, you bring these in, and then you cut this out, but not the beat, and then you drop the beat right here, and then you bring it all back over here with this. You bring this right in right here. This is where you bring it in, but you bring it in with everything. Not everything, but these right here. Yes, Let's see how that works. This is like a little surprise at the end. You don't, unless you always want a surprise in the end. You don't want to tell the whole story in the beginning. You know what I mean? You always want a little surprise, because they're gonna get bored with your track. I'm not speaking from experience. I'm just speaking from my experience. I hate when there's nothing else. Alright, so that. And then this is gonna keep playing. And then this is gonna come in. And then actually what I want is this is what, oh yeah, here's what I want. Okay, keep hitting the wrong button. Alright, so I want, and then I want this to reintroduce the kick. That's what I want. I want it to reintroduce the kick, and then I want this to come in with this, oops, and then all together now. All together now. And that's how it's gonna work. That's good for now. She is useless. Who? Okay, so this is how you do it. I mean, you could extend it a little more, but this is how it's done. This is how you do it. Now, next video, we'll talk about automation, because automation and risers. We'll do automation and risers, hopefully drums, hopefully some bells and whistles. But for now, this is how you do it. Let's. This is gonna be mute. This is gonna be there. No, this is gonna be gone. See, that's it. That's how you do it. Now let's listen to the whole thing, and that will be the end. All right. Till next time.